Welcome to Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about what is good alignment. What is that thing? Don't bash me over the head. That's not good.
That's not good.
Welcome to Wizards of the Tower.
Roleplay.
And we kind of want to talk about what is good alignment in RPGs. You know, oftentimes in our RPGs you get somebody who says they're a good alignment and they're not playing a good alignment.
Now, it's always a conflict with DMs. I've never DM'd. Delaney has a lot. But it's always a conflict in games with DMs to get people to play their alignments. You know, they want to backstab, they want to steal, they want to cheat, they want to do all this stuff because it's fun. And you get a little thrill from it. Arguably, you know, it's more fun to go up and backstab someone and take their purse than it is to actually talk to them and try to convince them to do something. You know, so that's the difference between you know, some kind of a chaotic alignment and good alignment. Yeah.
So what is good alignment? Say your neighbor's doing bad things. You don't go over and just bash him on the head with your flail, your spike flail. If he's doing bad things, you're probably reporting to the law because that's the law.
That's the, you know, if you live within a society that functions on rules and regulations, you know, the reason it does function on rules and regulations is because most people adhere to them for a certain reason and for the common good.
Right, whether you agree with them or not.
Yep. We've had games before, we've had characters who professed to have good alignments, who did bad things. And Delaney always called them out on it and said, hey, what's your alignment? What are you doing? You're breaking down that door? What are you doing? Oh, what's your alignment? Oh, it's neutral good. Is that really a neutral good thing to do? Oh, I guess not. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, it's like they don't pay attention. And there's gaming systems now, right, that have gotten rid of alignment.
Yeah. Yeah, Pathfinder's actually doing away with alignment. And they came up with a different system that's more of a kind of a holy and unholy type rule system.
I don't agree with that. I think one of the things that made D&D really good for me is always imagining, you know, that you have alignments to follow, that you have a pathway. Now, we all know there's gray areas, okay, where you stray from one path to the other, but that's part of the game system, straying from the path and then, you know, doing something good or bad, but doing something good typically to get back onto the path.
Here's a great example. We were playing in a dungeon. There was a mimic.
Yeah.
Mimics are neutral. Party just wanted to go in and start wiping out the mimics. Mimics are neutral.
Yeah.
Mimic didn't do anything. It didn't attack you yet.
Yeah. My argument was, let's talk with it. Let's see what it wants. You know, what does it want? Does it want to just survive? Does it want this and that? I mean, it's a neutral, I mean, you know, it's like it's a neutral character. No, those things are evil, they kill people. It's like, well, officially mimics are supposed to be neutral.
My cleric just detected alignment, it detected evil on it, it doesn't detect evil.
Yeah, so it's neutral. So you should be able to negotiate with a neutral character. Yeah, it's just trying to survive. You should be able to, to negotiate with a neutral character, so why not? Why not try? Well, it didn't make me very popular amongst the gaming group who just basically wanted to kill everything they came across.
Villagers. There's a pack of wolves out there. The wolves are killing their sheep. Let's go kill the wolves because the wolves are evil. The wolves aren't evil. The wolves are just trying to survive.
Just trying to survive, you know. I mean, you have to look at it that way, is just because you have dominion over something and someone else, you know, had that dominion before, or someone else is just trying to survive in a world that you inhabit, does that necessarily mean that they're evil? I mean, we demonize everything in this world just because it interferes with our sense of capitalism, or our sense of attainment, or our sense of control. Anything that goes outside those bounds, we demonize.
You're a paladin. You're walking through the dungeon. You open the door. There's a bunch of orcs sitting there at the table playing cards. You pull out your sword. You rush in. You attack them. You kill them. Was that good? Because the orcs hadn't done anything yet.
So we talked about this before. Are orcs inherently evil? And my belief is that in most gaming systems, orcs should not be evil. Chaotic, sure, but the thing is, if you are a paladin, you have to give them a chance to surrender.
Right.
If you don't, and you just jump in and start hacking them, well, I'm there, I'm smiting evil. It's like, I don't want that paladin anywhere near me because, if I do something once that he may construe as being bad, he's going to chop my head off, or he or she is going to chop my head off just because they assume I'm evil because I did something.
Because I look funny.
Or because I look funny or
I remember
funny.
a game I was actually playing, the first time I ever played a paladin, and my character's father and his retinue were all evil, and I knew it, but I couldn't just attack them on the courthouse steps and kill them because they were evil. I had to get proof of what they were doing that was wrong, and try to bring them into justice, or even try to bring them back to the way of good.
Yeah. Being good, people say it's hard to be good. I say, no, it's easy to be good. You just respect other people.
Yeah.
Okay? So yeah, well, let's talk about that, because what do good people typically do?
Yeah, they're altruistic. They're respectful for life. They have a concern and a dignity for sentient beings.
They follow laws.
Yep.
They respect other people's existence.
You may not agree with the law, but you follow the law. You're not going to go break the law just because it's like, well, I don't agree with it, so I'm going to go break the law.
Yeah, they defend the weak. They stick up for those who can't stick up for themselves.
I don't like puppies, so I'm going to go smash puppies, even though there's laws that say you can't do that.
Don't smash puppies.
Don't smash puppies.
The thing is about, within the D&D world, and it talks about good, you have lawful good.
Right.
You have neutral good, and you have chaotic good.
Right.
Okay. Now, the first time that people get introduced to these kind of concepts, I think, is when they play D&D, when you have to actually sit down and think, all right, what do I want my character to be? What do I want them to be in this game? Do I want to be, lawful good? Do I want to be a goody two-shoes, a Dudley do-right? Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you inhabit a world that is essentially chaotic in many ways. And so you'll find yourself being pulled a lot of times towards the more neutral or chaotic part of being good, because there are so many gray areas. And those kind of moral conundrums sort of make it difficult to play a lawful good character.
Right. Playing a lawful good character does not mean you're going to kill, sacrifice yourself for the party. You're going to defend and let the party escape, and then you're going to try and get out of there.
Yeah.
It's like last man standing, You all get out of here, you get back to safety, I'll slow them down, and I'll catch up with you as soon as I can. As soon as I find a way to stop this, evil horde that's charging in on us.
Yeah, there's reasons why people who are lawful good have certain strengths, moral strengths that keep them up, that they can lay on hands on themselves and heal themselves and heal others. I think a lot of that healing touch stuff comes from Aragorn and Lord of the Rings, that the king had the healing touch. Yeah. That sort of thing. Lawful good characters, in a lot of senses, represent stability in a chaotic world. They may be a knight, or they may be a king, they may be a noble, they may be just a regular fighter, but they represent that sort of stable needle that always points north, that other people can kind of look at and say, well, I don't go along with that because I think there's more things happening in this world, but I'm glad the guy or the lady is there to provide that moral compass needle that always points north.
Yeah. Great examples of lawful good would be like Faramir.
Yeah.
In Lord of the Rings. Or if you've ever read Three Hearts and Three Lions, Holgar Karlsson, who's basically the epitome of a paladin.
Yeah.
But he's not stupid,
Well, Faramir
he's there to protect.
Faramir wasn't stupid. No. Faramir, what makes Faramir lawful good is because even though Faramir knew that his father despised him, he still honored his father. Okay, we're talking about Denethor, right? He still honored his father's rule and his father's administration of the city and the realm. He still honored him. And so I think the point they were trying to make is that you could be a great warrior, you can be a leader of men, you can be a person who does many, many, many things, but you still honor those in power and those who create laws.
But he was willing to break his father's law and not bring the ring to him, because he saw that as a bad thing.
That's true. So in a sense, he wasn't completely, totally lawful. Or you could say that he was conflicted
because,
in a way.
Yeah.
Well, if he defied his father by not bringing the ring to him, essentially letting Frodo go, and not killing Gollum. So the thing is he was still good. In my opinion, he was still lawful good. But he was tested.
Yeah.
And I think the point that Tolkien was trying to make is that he was morally tested and he passed.
Yeah, absolutely. You can even say Galadriel with offering the ring, and she saw all the great power and she's like, nope, I'm not going to do that.
Well, elves are a different case. Yeah. Elves, you want to talk about, elves inhabit a different realm.
Yeah.
Really, it's difficult to talk about because they're really not human.
So then you got Faramir's brother, Boromir, who's actually basically chaotic good.
Yeah. And the reason I think that Delaney and I were just talking about this, why Boromir was chaotic good, is because even though he was a good person, a good knight, and a good warrior, and a leader of men, he had his own agenda, and that was essentially to take the ring. Now he knew the ring was, would be a way for them to use it for power to preserve his realm, and he wasn't aware of the corruption that could take place, or he thought he was too good for the corruption to take hold. But despite the fact that he would stand up for those, that he would protect the Fellowship with everything in his might, he was still corruptible.
Yeah, he knew that, at the end, when the ring corrupted him, that he had done wrong, and he needed to protect Merry and Pippin and save them and help Frodo and Sam escape.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of where you come up with that kind of chaotic good idea. Yeah. That essentially, he had his own agenda, but yet he strayed from the path, but he was able to get back onto the path quite easily, toward the end of his life. And people still respected him and still thought about him as in a very good way. And I think that that's a really important way to talk about warriors. That they may do things that appear to be not so good in a lot of ways, but yet they're still able to get back onto the path of good. Yeah.
Frodo and Aragorn considered actually neutral good.
Yeah. We were just talking about this. What makes Frodo neutral good? Well, he was willing to steal. He was willing to steal things to get farther down the road, or he was willing to compromise in a few ways for the greater good. And so, neutral good characters are kind of hard to fathom and play because they kind of waver between one way and the other.
It's actually my favorite alignment to play.
Well, it's a very safe alignment to play, and I'd kind of like to know what other people feel about this. Do you feel that neutral good characters are the easiest characters to play, or the hardest characters to play?
What is your favorite alignment to play? Lawful good, chaotic good, neutral good, or why?
Yeah.
Why do those alignments appeal to you, and how do you come up with how you're going to play that character? But playing a good character is not charging in and killing everything, or attacking or stealing, and it's following the laws and the rules of the land, and not harming people. It's respecting things, sentient beings.
Yeah.
It's not bashing the head out of something that you think is evil, but maybe is not evil, because...
Exactly. You could argue, and we were just talking about this, whether Aragorn was lawful good or neutral good. Now, I think Aragorn possesses a great many characteristics of lawful good, but I think because of his burden of command, of being the leader of an army, I don't believe that you could really be truly neutral good, because you have to order other people to die. So I think that in a sense you're really more kind of neutral good, because
you've got to sacrifice.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, you've got to sacrifice others. It's not that you're protecting them by trying to save them. You have to order them into battle. It's for the better good, and you know that they'll follow your orders. But that's the thing. It's kind of like Frodo stealing or being deceptive to save his own life. Aragorn to save a kingdom, to save a realm. You order other people to die.
Yep.
That's really more neutral good, in my opinion.
Yep, absolutely. So I think we're going to end this episode of Wizards of the Tower.
Role play.
And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, bash that like button. because then you get notified.
Yep.
And also follow us on Discord. Make a comment. We'll always reply to your comment. Whether it's, hey, thanks for the comment, or maybe we'll even reply a little bit more depending upon what it is.
Yeah.
If we can come up with something we want to say in your comment,
Yeah.
But anyway, may all your adventures be epic.
And keep on rolling.
Don't forget to be a good follower.